Well, you guys, some of you have heard of me talking about the Unpolished Rebuild podcast. This is, I guess, a teaser, episode 0, if you will. It's the rebuild. So I didn't start the podcast because things worked out. I started it because they fell apart, and they stayed that way longer than I expected. At some point, I realized there's plenty of voices talking about success, plenty talking about addiction, plenty talking about personal growth. But almost nobody talks about what comes after you wreck your life, and you still have to wake up every day and function, right? Not the dramatic rock bottom, not the redemption montage. It's the part in the middle, the quiet part, the humiliating part, the part where nobody is clapping for you because you're just trying not to screw things up again. So that's what this is about. This won't be the background. I just figured I'd rip this off real quick and get it out there because I've had a few people ask me to get it going. So thank you for the accountability, by the way. So this is the Unpolished Rebuild. Rebuilding's not pretty. It's not inspirational most days. It's repetitive, it's lonely, and it's slow. It forces you to take a look at parts of yourself that you spent years avoiding, or at least for me, that's true. For me, rebuilding meant admitting that there's a lot of damage to my life that didn't happen to me. I was involved. Sometimes I was the cause. Oftentimes I was the cause. So, and yes, I'm reading. If you're wondering, I haven't memorized the script yet. It's not easy to say, but nothing changed until I stopped negotiating with what I perceived as the truth. The podcast isn't about blaming substances, circumstances, or other people, even those who played a role. It's about taking responsibility because responsibility is the only thing that gave me control back. Here's what you won't hear on the show. You won't hear overnight success stories. You won't hear fake confidence. You won't hear someone pretending that they've arrived. What you will hear is real conversations about rebuilding life. Your life, my experiences, my businesses, starting over in that respect too. Relationships, sometimes all at once. I'll talk about all those things, carrying the scars of what didn't work. So we'll talk about sobriety, not as a badge, but as a foundation. We'll talk about business without worshiping burnout. We'll talk about trust, how to rebuild it, how to accept when some people never give it back to you. We'll talk about discipline, not motivation, because motivation disappears fast when you're rebuilding from the ground up. So if you're watching this and you feel like you're behind, if you're rebuilding quietly and everyone else thinks you should be over it by now, if you've had to start over in life, I've had to start over several times. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're just in the rebuild. So the rebuild doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask if you're willing to show up again tomorrow. That's what this is for. That's what this video, this show, I guess, podcast, I guess. It's not to save you, not to fix you, but to walk this stretch honestly without polishing up for anyone else. I don't have the answers, not all of them, but I'm not going back. I'm not going back to where I was. So if you're watching or listening, maybe you're not going back either. So welcome to the Unpolished Rebuild.